Hello and welcome to On the Couch with Steve. This is a podcast where we help you navigate the often complicated world of buying and selling real estate. I'm Steve Athanates. I'm the owner of NG Real Estate here in Ipswich. Today we're talking to Matt Drayton. Matt's one of our rising star agents. He's been in real estate for about 2.5 years. That's right, Matt?
Correct, yeah.
So Matt, over the last 2.5 years, you've obviously started as an associate here in our business with NG Real Estate. You've now graduated and you're an agent in your own right.
Correct, yes.
So over the last 12 months, mate, lots of people out there are interested in, what a typical agent does, and that's the purpose of today's conversation, is to have a chat to you about what you do. You've got a really unique story at the moment because you're a real estate agent, but you've just bought your own house, haven't you?
I have indeed.
So you're a first homeowner.
I am.
And you're affected by things like interest rates.
Yes.
Okay, cost of living expenses. Okay, so all those pressures, they're all new for you. This is your very first house.
Correct.
Congratulations, mate. Really happy for you. So, mate, over the course of the last 12 months here in Ipswich, how many houses would you have sold over the last 12 months?
Last 12 months, I've sold just over 50 properties, mostly in Ipswich, one or two dotted outside of Ipswich, but just over 50 properties.
Well, congratulations. That's a big number for anyone in today's market. So, over the course of that last 12 months, and even over the last 2.5 years, you've obviously actively been engaged in real estate. Now, you weren't born a real estate agent.
No.
Okay, you became one.
Correct.
So you've got a history prior to being a real estate agent. What did you used to do?
So my job before this, I was an Intelligence Analyst. I worked for Queensland Government under the Corrective Services. So I spent a couple of years with corrections, sort of jumbling between both admin and the Intel Analyst role. So obviously it's taught me a lot in terms of just reading situations, reading into people and that sort of thing. And I think it has set me up quite well for this job, obviously being such a people-centric role.
Yeah, look, I agree. Obviously, my background, I used to be a policeman in a different life. So, again, those people skills were invaluable in obviously being able to communicate with people. That's a huge part of our business, you'd agree?
Yes.
Just being able to talk to people.
Yes.
Read the play, understand their needs, their wants, and obviously try and put them into the house that they're looking for.
Yep.
All right, beautiful. Now, as part of your role, you're very familiar with the sales process. So you're used to being on the other side where you're helping someone sell their property and obviously giving someone an opportunity to be able to buy. Now, I mentioned at the start of the podcast, you've just bought your own property. So I want to focus on that a little bit because it's something a little bit different for our viewers out there today. Tell us about your experience as being a buyer in today's real estate market.
So I think, obviously, being in the job that we're in does take a fair bit of the stress off the process to start with. Obviously, I've got a pretty good idea of the offer phase, what you need to do to make your offer attractive, that sort of thing. I know a lot of people, obviously, talking to a lot of first-home buyers, particularly in our market, a lot of people have no idea what the process is, where to even start. So it's obviously helped being in this job to actually get myself into that position where I do sort of know what the process looks like.
Yep.
And just sort of be able to transition into that through to settlement.
Beautiful. Now, let's be clear. You didn't buy a property from our real estate company, even
No.
though we're the largest real estate company in Ipswich and we sell at least 2 houses every single day, which equates to about $1 million worth of real estate every single day, by the way. But you didn't buy through our company. You
No.
bought through another agent.
Yes.
So you had to go through the same process as every other buyer. And if there was multiple offers or multiple parties interested, you had to go through that process, correct?
Correct. There was no special treatment. It was from an agency somewhere else other than ourselves. So just like any other punter, obviously you have to go out, fight against all the other bidders that are looking to get their hands on the property. Obviously it is still quite competitive at the moment. No special treatment from my end.
All right. So the fact that you've just successfully purchased, the property hasn't even settled yet, has it?
Not yet. 2 weeks.
Okay, so it's unconditional, but it hasn't yet settled.
Yes.
So very exciting. So you're planning renovations and all those sorts of stages. So now tell the people at home, what would you recommend they do to make yourself competitive in this market? Because like I said, you've just been through this process yourself.
Make sure you're talking to a broker. Step one, absolutely, without a doubt, go see a broker. Obviously, we've got people we recommend, but literally just anyone, go see a broker. Make sure you can get your finance terms as strong as possible. So I went in, I had my finance approved in less than a week. Obviously, work with the brokers as much as you can. They need to get information from you in order to actually process that application. Make sure you've got your ducks all in a row. There's only so much people on the outside can actually do for you. But just make sure you've got all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed, and just get everything ready. Obviously, you want to make sure you've got a good building and pest inspector lined up, ready to go as well. Again, in terms of making your offer attractive to the vendors, you really want short time frames and good price. So the shorter the time frames really are going to strengthen your offer.
No worries. So you raise a good point there. So the two compelling factors when you're making an offer and to make your offer competitive is, you're trying to make it go unconditional as quickly as you can, and you're obviously showing the seller that your intent is to buy the property. So in this case, you bought in a very, a very popular suburb. So there was a lot of competition for the property that you were purchasing. So with your offer, did you come in aggressive? Did you offer over list price? What did you particularly do for yours?
So what I did with mine, so the inspection I went to was the first inspection on the property. So essentially the first thing I asked the agent was, do you have any offers at the moment? At that stage, there were no offers presented on the table. So I'd essentially gone around, looked at the house, worked out roughly what I'm prepared to spend for that house. Now I came in with the first offer, was slightly over asking price, and nothing drastic, but just get your name in that hat. As soon as you're the first offer, you essentially get first dibs at increasing it should someone else come in after you. So just make sure if there are no offers on the table, if you are interested in the house, get your name in the hat straight away.
So did you end up in a multiple offer situation?
Yes.
Okay, again, good to know that even as an agent, you weren't exempt. You ended up in a situation where there were multiple parties looking to buy the same property.
Yep.
So the agent came back to you and said, hey, do I have your very best offer?
Yes. So I made the offer. It went about a day. She came back to me. There was one other offer that I was aware of. I think there might have been a second, but let's just assume the one. So essentially that's where the sort of bidding war started to come in from then. So there was a little bit of back and forth between the agent and obviously the other people trying to make the offer as well, and essentially just sort of worked out. I just went straight to the top of what I was prepared to pay for that house. I know, at a certain level, you're not getting that value for money that obviously, a house is an investment, so you do want to retain that value for money. So there was a number in my head that I was happy if I top out there and I still miss it, I can sleep at night knowing I've essentially put my best foot forwards. So I went straight to that number. Came back a day later, and they'd accepted the offer.
Awesome. Now, you give some really good advice here, and this is something that we talk to buyers about a lot. You should have a number in your head for any property that if you get it for that amount of money, you're happy, but if it goes even 1 cent more, you're prepared to walk away.
Yep.
Okay, and that's the process you employed yourself?
Yep.
Beautiful, mate, beautiful. So for people at home who are following this process, because it can get quite frustrating, how long were you looking for a property?
So I was looking for ages, to be honest.
Ages is how long? Is it a week, a month, a year?
Close to a year. So I started my search back in February. Obviously, we're start of September now. So that's when I got my pre-approval. Now I wasn't seriously looking for the first couple of months, but I wanted to get my pre-approval in place just in case that property did come up, and I can jump on it straight away. I'm ready to go. So like I said before, make sure your ducks are lined up. That's exactly what that was. So I've been sitting there pre-approved for at least 6-7 months before I actually found that property that I jumped on.
Nice. And when you found the property that you were convinced was the right one for you, would it be fair to say that you were reasonably aggressive in your approach? You wanted to make sure the agent knew you were interested, you completed the offer to purchase or whatever appropriate paperwork they supplied you with, and you got your name in the ring? Yep.
Do everything straight away. So went through the property. First question I asked, are there any offers? No. Great. Have a look around the house, work out what I'm prepared to pay, go straight to the agent and say, give me one of those offer forms. I'm going to write one now. Took a pen offer, filled it out then and there. So that straight away demonstrates that I'm not here to stuff around. I want the house. Let's just get it done.
Beautiful. So look, for the people at home and for the people who are looking for houses, hopefully that's provided you with an insight into what you should do. Lots of people sometimes want to fluff around. They want to play cat and mouse and, I'm sort of interested. Maybe I want to buy it. But there's some mixed signals. And now if you're giving those mixed signals to the agent about whether you're fully committed or you're not, a lot of time you're going to miss out because you get someone like yourself who came in with a plan and a structure and said, I want it and I'm going to do everything I can to get it. That's true?
Correct. Yep.
Beautiful. Now, let's switch gears for a second. You bought the house. Congratulations. You're a real estate agent. What's your opinion on the current market? You've just bought in it. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going to go sideways? What do you think is going to happen to the current market?
It's really interesting, obviously, with the interest rates kind of all over the place. Now, as of today, they have held the rate
Yay!
once again. Yes, thank goodness. Obviously, as a new mortgage holder.
Yes.
Now, it is still quite competitive. Now, going back to my house again, the main offer that I was competing with was quite a strong offer. I believe it was a cash offer. So, you know, there are a lot of sort of cash buyers getting around. So, obviously, it can be quite frustrating when you go into that, particularly if you do know what's around and you're almost disheartened before you even step foot through the door.
Well, you can be, can't you?
You can be, very easily. So really the main thing is just sort of stay confident and, you know, make sure you are ready to go and just be organised with everything.
No, it's now, we've seen some stats come out recently. Obviously, inflation's dropping. Reserve Bank's kept interest rates on hold. We're seeing data that's coming out that's basically telling us house prices continue to rise. And even so, again, in the last quarter, I think they've gone up 0.3%. Actively working in the market, you've sold over 50 properties in the last 12 months. What do you think is going to happen over, the next 6 months to the market?
There's a lot of talk about, you know, everyone's waiting for the big crash that's going to come. Personally, I don't think there's going to be a crash per se. I think, you know, over the next sort of 6 months, I think it's going to hold pretty steady. There, you know, maybe a very slight dip, but I think realistically what we're accustomed to now is probably what's going to stay for the most part. Mm-hmm. You know, there's always going to be properties that do sell quite cheap. Obviously, your sort of lesser quality stock and the stuff that does sit on the market for a bit longer. But I really don't think there's going to be this massive crash that a lot of people are talking about.
I don't think so either. And like, mate, you know, you're doing open homes every weekend with me, you know, as all real estate agents are. Really strong demand. Yep. Very few properties that we open and sell today that we don't get multiple offers. Reason being, we know as agents, there's 52% less stock right now than there was this time a year ago. So there's still a really strong buyer demand, but limited stock. Now, if more stock comes to market, that would be the thing that would potentially maybe alter house prices a little bit. But generally speaking, Australia's love affair with property is definitely showing no signs of weakening.
No. I think that's here to stay for the long term. I think Australia's always had that, as you say, love affair with property. I really don't think that's going to change. But looking at the big picture is really the main thing, I think. You know, as long as you're looking in that sort of 10-year time frame, you can't really miss out, to be honest.
Matt, you're a young man. You're sub 25.
Yep, 25 in October.
25 in October. You're going to stay in Ipswich real estate for a very long time?
I think so. No reason to leave.
Beautiful. So good news for the people of Ipswich. If you want to list or sell your house, Matt Drayton's your man. Give him a call at NG Real Estate Ipswich. He will look after you, I promise.
Absolutely.
Now, for everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in to On the Couch with Steve. If you'd like to make some comments on the content that we've presented today, obviously subscribe to the link below. A really big special thank you to Matt Drayton. Congratulations on the purchase of the house, mate. So happy for you personally. You deserve it. You're a great guy. If you'd like to see more content with On the Couch with Steve, stay tuned. We'll see you soon.